Alright all, and welcome back to a new video, and as requested we are going to give it a try. I don't know how long for, but we're going to try do a day by day video for Irish racing, putting up my selections for each race and just giving, I suppose, a bit of a vehicle for discussion in terms of a day-by-day thing. Obviously, brilliant to get Irish racing back started up tomorrow at Naas, and it's a lovely card at Naas as well. And there'll be a great card on Tuesday at Leopardstown with the Downstown Stud Trial, and also, obviously, the Guineas going into this weekend. Before we obviously get into the selections, get into the 8-race card, just obviously want to put a few pointers out there to preface the video, I suppose. I am no top tipster. If you want a top tipster, there are plenty out there, but I'm not one of them. Yes, it is a bit extreme putting up a horse for every race and stuff like that, but it is just from a video perspective. I'm giving you my thoughts. If you want to take them and you want to back these horses, do go and do so. And if you don't and you disagree, go and back your own horses. And hopefully best of luck with you guys backing a few winners as well. But anyway, we'll get straight into it. I just needed to get that said just so you guys can understand where I'm coming from. It's good to get videos out. It's good to get interaction going. But I can't, unfortunately, guarantee that winners are going to come out of the trees as much as I wish that was the case. Starting off in the 255, and we've got a 5-furlong Fillies Maiden, 2-year-old race. Really a lot of nicely bred horses, a lot of horses that could be pretty decent down the line, but you don't know really. You don't know who's going to be the most forward. We have nothing really to judge it on. I'm going to take a chance here for Roses Blue, for Jessica Harrington and Shane Foley. They had a brilliant season with 2-year-old fillies last year, so it'll be very interesting to see what their stock of 2-year-olds like this year. This is a very precociously bred filly by Kodiak out of the Charmandel mare, so it's a speedy enough horse on the book. 3-1 with Coral at the moment. That's best priced at. That's the price that is as I'm recording this video. If it's gone, I'm very sorry, but that is the best price. Look, as I say, it's one of these, you don't know enough to be making a concrete selection base. Like, there's no form to go on. You're just looking at pedigrees. I think Roses Blue is an exciting pedigree, and it'll be interesting to see how she can go for Jessie. The 330, a 6-furlong 2-year-old maiden, and I'm going to be very boring here. I'm going to be putting up the favourite in Lipizzaner. He's even money with Ladbrokes at the moment. I think there's a few going odds on. He put in a great performance on the opening day of the season at Naas when he was second to a very well-regarded Jim Bulger 2-year-old called Poetic Flair. He should improve for that run. If we're being honest, Jamie Heffernan, who rides him again tomorrow, was a bit easy on him. Kind of gave him a nice educational ride. He should come on for it, and he does have the advantage over the majority of this field that he has run in a race before, as for the rest of them are coming here for their, debut run on a race track. So he should take it, and I think even money, I think he's the rightful favourite, as the market would suggest, and I think even money actually isn't a bad price. 4 o'clock is a 6-furlong handicap for horses rated from 50 to 75, so not some of the greatest horses you're ever going to see. A very well-backed Joseph O'Brien horse in this race, but I think it's a race where I'd be siding with a horse at an each-way price, and I've come down on Scorching Heat, who's 9-1 with Coral. That's not a bad each-way price for me. He's running off a mark of 74. He won 3 times when he was trained by Andrew Balding in the UK, including the last time winning was off a mark at 84. And that was 3 summers ago, so it's been a long time between drinks, but he travelled supremely well. He's another one of these horses that managed to get a run in on the first day of the season at Naas, and he was leading in the 6-furlong handicap going into the final furlong and weakened very quickly out of it into 9th. Now, that is a concern. He weakened quickly out of it, but it's also good to see that he travelled with a lot of enthusiasm. And tomorrow, Colin Keane is booked, which is also a good sign, usually a sign that maybe today, I've said today again, it's tomorrow. But if you are watching it tomorrow, it will be today, if you get me. Sorry about that. But Colin Keane is booked, usually a sign that, he's meant to be running well tomorrow, and hopefully he can do a nice little job for us at 9-1 to take on the very short price favourite from Joseph O'Brien. The 430 is the second division of this 6 furlong handicap, and again it's got another O'Brien short horse. Aidan O'Brien this time has it. But again, I'm going to take it on. I'm just not so sure with the O'Brien horses so early in the season. We don't know how they're going to be primed. I'm going to take another stab on a horse called Inflection Point here. He's 10 to 1 with Paddy Power, again an each way price. He's making his debut for Kieran Cotter. Used to be a Ger Lyons inmate and used to run in maidens over around 7 furlongs and a mile. But he steps back to 6 furlongs here. Kieran Cotter is good with his handicap sprinters. And he's possessed enough maiden form to think that he'll win races somewhere down the line. He's been given a mark of 73. I think that's fair. I don't think there's much room for a budge there. It'll be very interesting to see how he runs, though, and hopefully he can run into a place at least at 10 to 1. 5 o'clock is the first of the 2 listed races on the card. It's the Committed Stakes, and I've taken a chance here on Ger Lyons' Nurse Barbara, a very well-bred filly. Again, another one of these Kodiak fillies out of an Azamore mare, so very much bred for sprinting and bred for, 6 furlongs races. And this is a stiff 5. It's 5.5 furlongs. And Naas is quite stiff near the end. If you haven't been to Naas, the last half furlong you're constantly rising. This filly won a Cork maiden by 3 lengths to a pretty reliable yardstick in Deirdre, who's a Mick O'Callaghan inmate. Ran very well that day and only came out 2 weeks later and came second, beaten a neck in the Ingabel Stakes at Leopardstown on Champions Weekend. She subsequently went over and finished 6th behind Mill Island in the Cheveley Park. I don't think that was her best performance. Well, it obviously wasn't her best performance. I don't think that was her best form, I should say. And it's an interesting step down in trip again, another half furlong down. And I think she's a pretty precocious type that could go well. 6 to 1 seems a decent price. The 535 is the second of these listed races, and it's the Woodlands Stakes, again over 5.5 furlongs. And again, I'm going to have to disappoint some of you that maybe want a better price, but I'm going with the favourite here in Skeptical, who's been really the revelation of the season. He was a Godolphin cast-off, a gelded son of Exceed and Excel. Didn't obviously show enough for Godolphin to keep him, and Dennis Hogan picked this horse up for absolute pennies, and he's gone and won 3 from 4 at Dundalk this winter, including winning a 5 furlong handicap of a mark of, I think, 101 by 6.5 lengths on his latest start, which has risen him to a mark of 114. I think he's the highest rated sprinter trained in Ireland, which seems madness considering he's only run 4 times. But this is potentially his chance to stamp his authority on listed class. There's horses like Sergei Prokofiev, Forever in Dreams, who are also very good horses. Forever in Dreams, I think this will be a prep run before going to the Diamond Jubilee. She shows her best form at Ascot, and Sergei Prokofiev I quite like, but he's a hard horse to get right. So Skeptical is the one for me, 2 to 1, the price. The 605, a 1 mile Fillies maiden, and I've taken a bit of a chance here on Zahira Lovedana, who's 6 to 1 with Coral, trained by John Ox. Now McCullough takes the ride. She only ran once last time out, last year in a 2-year-old maiden, where she finished 4th in a very well regarded maiden where Wichita won and Jim Bulger had a horse called Fiscal Rules coming second. Now I've heard good things that they quite like Fiscal Rules, and Wichita obviously came second into the 2,000 guineas this weekend. So you'd like to hope there's improvement to come and there will be a win for this filly in a maiden. Whether a mile will be too short, I'm not so sure. Based on breeding, she will want a little bit further in time, but hopefully she can stay on and run a big race, and hopefully 6 to 1 won't be at the worst price. The 635 is our concluder, a mile, Cults and Geldings maiden, and again, it's got Aidan O'Brien horse called Paradiso, the favourite. He didn't look like he had great form. He's mucking around between cheek pieces, visors. A lot of headgear for a horse for Aidan O'Brien is never the best sign, I don't think. And also there's a Jessica Harrington horse called Master of Fox Hounds, who was formerly trained by Aidan O'Brien but now is with Jessica Harrington. I think the form of that is all pretty ordinary, so I'm going to take a stab on a horse that hasn't run before in Ebendi for Dermot Weld. Oisin Noor takes the ride. He's 6 to 1 with Paddy Power. My worry is that he'll need the run, because his breeding would suggest he'll come on and it would be maybe better in overstaying trips and with a bit more experience on his belt. But I'm going to just take this chance. It's a weak race from a form perspective, so I'm going to take a chance on a horse that hasn't run before. He's a half-brother to 4 winners. He's got a good family with, you know, horses rated 112, 108 in his family. So he's got the potential to be a half-decent horse. And to be honest, I think he only needs to run to maybe a mark of 75 or maybe 78 tomorrow to win this type of a race. And hopefully he can be close to that and run a decent race. That is it. 8 races, and you know, I know I've been a bit stuttery actually today. I understand that. I've been a bit out of practice with these videos, but hopefully they can be a bit better. I've been kind of fluffing around a little bit with my words today, but hopefully you guys did enjoy the video, and if you did, please do give it a like and subscribe to the channel down below. There will be plenty more videos like this throughout this week, and then obviously it's Royal Ascot the week after, so we're going to have to do day-by-day videos for that. So if you did enjoy it, please do get involved. Give me your tips for down below. I will definitely need them. If you've got an absolute surefire for Naas tomorrow, make sure to let us all know down below, and hopefully we can all get on. And best of luck with your bets tomorrow, whether it's in England or Ireland, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow night with us with a bit of cash in the back pocket. See you there.